Hi, I'm Laurie and I thought I'd show you around DoubleTake Layout. We just saw Dinkley Bottom, that's going soon to a new home, and this is DoubleTake, and I thought I'd just show you around the layout and talk you through some things. So this side is Piddlewick Yard, the 00 gauge English scrapyard, and this particular pond here I had made by Realistic Model Services, and I put that in. Now I could have made a pond myself, but I wanted to get someone else to do something for me, and this gives it a different look and feel. And I've also bought some rusty locos that I'll show you later as well, which give a different look and feel to how I would do it. The trees quite simply placed in, they're just planted into the insulation foam board, which means when I want to film I can actually place these and remove these as I wish to and get extra angles. The idea is the scrapyard is owned by a man who collects vintage vehicles and does them up, so you'll see modern day Mercedes that are scrapped alongside brand new looking vintage vehicles such as this Ford Transit. There's also a Ford Capri next to a Ford Capri advert. I like Fords. And then here is the RAF recovery set from Airfix, Queen Mary trailer and a Coles Mark 7 crane. I really do like the Mark 7 crane. I spent some time detailing that and putting windows in, and there's a figure in there, and also put some cotton in there to replicate the chain. Notice this Sherman tank with its tracks unfolded. They're cutting them up with their welding torches. Various model spare parts, model railway parts litter the area. One trick is to cut up plastic bottles and make them into flat sheets, and you can cover an area quite quickly with these. With some vehicles I like to put extra details inside. Now here's a couple of interesting items. The engine shed has got some electronics in it, and this creates the welding flicker. This cost me about £10, and I got it from AGL Associates. They do their local model shows in the Essex area, and it's nice, it's battery powered, so I haven't put all my eggs in one basket and got all of the effects being powered off the controller. Some of them are battery powered. And also here, I don't always put this on the layout, but this came from Military Vehicles magazine. It's a rocket launcher. Now I used to be into model rocketry, so it's kind of paying homage to that. But I also like it because the owner of Piddlewick Yard, he collects military vehicles too. Even a howitzer cannon or something like that. Now these next two items I bought online at an auction site. This coach particularly took my fancy. I suppose I could have made it, but it only cost me £9. And really for £9 it's worth letting someone else add their modelling touches, because they do it a different way to me, and it gives the layout different styles of modelling. Also another modeller online supplied this to me. I think this cost £27, I think. Coronation Scott, and again it's weathered in a different way to how I would do it. It looks very nice, I think, with the tarpaulin. And I've got a few other weathered locos that I can put on this layout too. There's a really dried up pond type area that I made, and also there's a crane kit that I bought. Now it was already made up, but it wasn't weathered, so I weathered it and detailed it up. Here are a couple of other locomotives that I bought, very rusted up. This one's got a texture to it. I know you can do that with salt, mixed in to the paint and also sprinkled over the paint. I'm not sure how this one was done. And there's this one too. I quite like the detail on the wagon itself. Low loader, I suppose. Got some nice writing on it. 1980 date, don't let me die. £7,500 plus VAT. And a phone number, sold, do not take part. I think that's meant to be a part. So the scrapyard man can't actually write very well. It's nicely done though, isn't it? And again, different to how I would do it. I do like to have fun with my layouts, and I don't know if you can see them in there, but there's actually a naked couple on the desk having sex, I think. It looks that way to me. You can't really see this unless you really look closely, and it's in a building at the back of the layout. When the lights come on, you can see it a little more. Of course, you can't see it in daylight. Now this side I like very much. This is the American HO scale side, Dunmovin Mine, and of course HO track is the same size as 00 gauge. One thing I've added right in the corner is this derelict boat. Now it was actually a resin cast model and I just painted it up and stuck it in there. For the riverbed I used bird and aquarium gravel and then put some varnish on there just to make it look really dried up. So this little bridge is almost not needed anymore. Now this building used to be a station, I think, but I've just converted it into a general building at the end of the line, and then over here is a coaling stage, or actually something similar. In this case I'm using it for the N-gauge track, little wagons to bring in their gold, lift it up this actual building and then tip it out through here onto wagons below on the main track siding. Now that seems to be what it would be used for from my research. It doesn't actually function, but all the buckets are there on the other side. It's all there in place to make it look like it could. So the idea is this used to be a gold mine, it's now abandoned. That little doorway behind there's actually a chute which leads down onto the track. You could actually put stuff in there and it would land on these little wagons, and then it could take them away down the track if it wanted to. Here I've got 3 cars. I used to own a Corvette, so I like Corvettes. There's 2 Corvettes there, a C2 and a C4, and then a 57 Chevy, also a car I like. So here's the main mine building, or what's left of it. Now, as I said earlier, they used to mine gold, but some of it, is still left in the hills, and if you look carefully, you can find it. I've got a few pieces of gold dotted around the layout, and I'm going to ask people at shows if they can find them, and then if they can, I'll give them their own little bag of pyrite, which is fool's gold, which is what's dotted around the layout. And down here I've got my lumberyard, and if you look carefully you can see a black dog on the bits of wood. Now this is abandoned as well, in fact the whole thing is abandoned. Now there is a lot of modeller's license that goes on with things like this, because if you look carefully it wouldn't be easy actually to get wood in and out of this lumberyard, especially big pieces like that. I suppose they could be lifted in by cranes that are on the train tracks, but you couldn't really easily get them out around there, and they couldn't go the other way. Perhaps they never did actually move these around here, they just moved them off the train by a crane and then put it on another train by a crane that was on the train track. I don't know, I'm just making that up really, but this building was too nice not to use. The actual mine itself,
I've got the idea that it used to extend over the railway tracks, hence a little bit of it here on the other side, but it's long since gone, that part, and in fact they're probably in the process of demolishing the rest of it. So here it is, the last part of this Mad Dog Mine. Hence the Mad Dog, the black dog sitting on the wood, and here's the name of it, Mad Dog Mine. And actually on the other side it's quite nicely detailed, but you never get to see this part. And here are the two analog controllers for the inner and outer loops, just normal DC controllers, and they're fitted to the layout permanently, although it is simple enough to take them off. And these are hidden behind a balsa wood wall, as you can see. So when I'm filming, they don't normally show up. The trees I've used are CMOS trees. Gauge Master sell these in a box, but you can also get them from other suppliers. An actual product that looks really nice. You can cover it with scatter if you want to make them more like living trees, but I wanted these ones to look as if they were dying, and the whole abandoned thing has extended onto the trees. They're abandoned as well. And if you look carefully, you might just be able to see another little bit of gold. That's actually quite a large piece there. I like to have those dotted around the layout.
So there we are, it's fun constructing these small layouts. Dinkley took me a day, this one took me 5 days, solid days. Nevertheless, I like to make lots of layouts that are quite small, so I can make lots of different layouts. That's just my general preference, nothing against large layouts. Also, it's a matter of space. So small layouts are fun, you can have a lot of fun with small layouts. A lot of fun with any layout really. Main thing is to model and enjoy, and just enjoy whatever aspect of this hobby that appeals to you. Have fun.